I'm your host, John Kramer, and you're watching the Star Wars Generation. You're watching the Star Wars Generation rant number 4. But you know what? It might not be a rant. I just watched the Solo trailer from the Super Bowl and from Good Morning America. And I have to confess, I'm not that let down right now. I still have hope in Obi-Wan Kenobi. I have my pros and my cons. I'll start with the pros and we'll go from there. First off, I'm glad Boba Fett's not in it. Now let me just tell you, I am Boba Fett's #1 fan. I have loved Boba Fett since the day that Darth Vader hired him to find Han Solo. But Han Solo and Boba Fett have no relationship prior to The Empire Strikes Back. So as a result, I am glad he's not in this movie. I'm glad we're not trying to force him in. We're not putting him in as just some sort of fan service. Boba Fett does not belong in this movie, and I'm glad he's not there. Next, Jabba the Hutt's not in the movie. Once again, same thing. I am glad Jabba's not in the movie because he doesn't belong. They've tried to force him in to so many of the other Star Wars movies. They put him in the prequels. They digitally put him into A New Hope. And so I'm so glad they did not put him in this one. We don't need him. The mystery of Jabba the Hutt is gone. That mystery got solved in Return of the Jedi. We don't need any more Jabba the Hutt. So I'm glad he's not in this movie. Now, I'm a little wary, actually, that Lando is in the movie. I love Lando as well. But Han and Lando were not partners. I don't even know if they're friends. They're just kind of associates. They're scoundrels and they're gamblers who hang out in the underworld of the Empire, and they happen to cross paths occasionally. So I'm not really sure how I feel about Lando being in this, if we're forcing this relationship that shouldn't really exist. But haven't seen enough, so we'll see. Now, one thing that does excite me is I saw that Lando has a droid co-pilot. Now, the reason why this excites me is because it means somebody did their homework. Now, I'm not a big fan of the expanded universe, and I definitely don't treat that as canon. But I collected the comic books when I was a kid, and I also collected the early Han Solo and Lando Calrissian books. And in these Lando Calrissian books, Lando has a droid co-pilot named Buffy Raw. Now, did I like the character? No, not really. But still, the fact that they have given Lando a droid co-pilot means someone did their homework. So we can see from this movie that Han and Lando are recruited to go on some sort of an adventure. Now, the last thing I need to see is the Kessel Run. Because #1, I'm pretty sure Lando was not with Han when he made the Kessel Run. #2, it's been overplayed and overused, and it's in every little side story, or at least gets made mention of in every little side story about Han Solo, including The Force Awakens. And not only that, the Kessel Run only lasts 12 parsecs. I don't need you to stretch 12 parsecs over an entire movie. I also don't need to see Han drop his payload at the first sight of an Imperial cruiser, because that's not a mystery. I already know what that leads to. I already know it leads to Jabba the Hutt chasing him getting frozen. There's no mystery to that, so I don't need to see it. Now, one thing I wouldn't mind seeing is something that gets made mention of in Return of the Jedi. Han approaches Lando about his recent promotion to general in the Rebel Army. And Lando says, yeah, someone must have made mention of my little maneuver in the Battle of Tanab. And Han seems to recognize what's going on. So it could mean that Han not only knows of this battle, but Han may have participated in it with Lando. So I don't want to go off on any sort of fan theory here, because I hate fan theory, and I'm going to go off on a rant about that at some other time. But I wouldn't mind it if that's what they talk about in this movie, is the Battle of Tanab. Now, one of the problems I'm seeing is there is going to be an overuse of CGI. I don't like the multi-long tentacled creature that run into outer space, and I also don't like that double-decker train, and you can see there's a fight scene going on top of it. That's only brought in there just to make some James Bond-esque exciting fight scene. It's not adding to the story. It's just simply creating some crazy, outrageous thing that's going to make this really crazy, impossible fight that's just going to drive me nuts, because it will make it unrealistic, and it's just something to show off our CGI capabilities. Something else I didn't like was right at the beginning of the trailer when Han goes off on his little soliloquy. I've been scamming the streets since I was 10. I got kicked out of flight school. I feel like you're kind of cramming that down our throats, because I think we already kind of know that. We already know that Han is a scoundrel. You don't need to kind of force it on us. You don't need to try and convince me of it, because I already know it. I watched him. I watched the decisions he's made. It's not like this is the first time I've been introduced to Han Solo. I've seen him now in 4 movies. So I don't need you to try and tell me about Han. I know all about him. But all those things said, I have to say, I'm a little excited. I try not to let myself get excited, because that typically just leads to me being let down. But I can't help but be excited because it's Star Wars. Although they've let me down on multiple occasions, I have faith. So please, let this movie be good. The trailers show me it has potential. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to post in the comments section below. So for now, good night, good luck, and may the Force be with you.